Anyway, on today's show, we talk about the Young Republican racist group chat, the Pentagon's new reporter demands, and Marjorie Taylor Greene's attempts to get us to hand it to her, which we certainly will not. Oh, hello, and welcome back to Even More News, the first and only news podcast. My name is Katy Stoll, I think.
Mine too. Fuck! I always do that wrong. I'm Cody Johnston. Hello. One of these days, I'm going to get it right.
Don't worry, Jonathan is also here.
Hi. Twice a week, actually.
Twice a week, I get a shot.
Yeah, you get a shot. You get unlimited shots. Someday you'll get your name right. Jonathan always knows his name.
I mean, I never have to say it, so.
How's everybody doing? Good? Taking sips of coffee?
Taking sips of coffee, scrunching my face up, looking concerned or stern or something. I'm good.
We're good. Everyone's good.
How are you?
I'm good.
Oh, good.
Trying to decide if I should send back my snow costume or not. But,
you should ask
maybe
the internet. I'm sure
if
they'll
we're
have a
not
lot
cutting
of
this, we're going to put a picture in right now. Chime in on whether the snow leopard is too much or just right.
If yes, leave a thumbs up on the video. If no, leave a thumbs up on the video.
Yeah,
but leave
either
a
way,
comment
that's
that says
how you
don't do
vote.
it.
Well, for those of you listening, it is a ski outfit that it looks like a full-body snow leopard. But if you heard Katy say snow costume, you might think that for Halloween she's dressing up as Snow White or the Thing Snow or the 90s rapper Snow.
Or a snow leopard.
This is all. This is
you should
a
go
really
as
good,
Snow.
important. I could go as Snow. No,
Yeah.
I'm going to be
Inform
something
everybody.
from Shrek this year. But no. This is some vernacular we all need to get on the same page about. Winter is coming. I will be talking about this a lot. My snow costume is what I call my snow suit, my snow gear, what I wear to go skiing.
Your snowsuit.
And this particular costume, snow leopard costume, is an air blaster fit, and it was on deep sale, and it was the last one in my size. So when you're casting your judgment, know that it was very cheap and the last one in my size, which makes it special. And also, yeah, it's a big swing. I've only been skiing for 1 year. Who the fuck do I think I am? That's the kind of outfit that's just asking for attention. And if you're doing pizza down the mountain, it's a little embarrassing. Anyway.
What does that mean?
But you love attention. You can
I do love attention. That's the thing.
Yeah. so what's the problem?
Well, it just feels a little bit like this person cares more about, their costume than the sport. But I care about the sport.
Pizzaing, I assume, is when your skis are in a triangle and pointed at each other.
That's like a
which
beginner
is not
level, how you
you
stop.
gotta.
That's when you're learning how to ski.
That's what pizzaing down the mountain refers to?
Yeah. And then you but I don't do that anymore. I've outgrown the pizza, I think.
Okay.
Anyway.
Do you still say Mamma Mia when you're doing it?
I said, Mamma Mia! That's a spicy run.
Mm-hmm.
We've got holidays, folks.
Ooh.
Friday, October 17th is National Edge Day. The edges of your skis?
Oh.
No.
It's not what everybody's thinking. It's not about edging. Get your fucking minds out of the gutter. Everybody listening.
Well, what
it's
is
about being straight edge. So really the opposite of you perverts in the comments.
Why would they name it Edge Day?
It's a commitment to living free from alcohol, tobacco, and recreational drugs. Straight edge. They should call it Straight Edge Day. But maybe they're trying to trick people into celebrating Edge Day. Ooh, straight edge day.
There's nothing in the straight edge lifestyle that says you can't do other kinds of edging.
That's true. Like
with your skis. You got to find your edges if you're going to do a good turn and not rely on your pizza.
Yeah, we're talking about skiing.
Also, pizza needs good edges.
Also, skiing can mean doing Coca-Cola. Not Coca-Cola, cocaine.
Skiing could mean doing cocaine. Yeah. So we came full circle.
Mm-hmm. Celebrate however you want.
Sorry for this next one. Saturday, October 18th, National No Beard Day. I'm sorry, gentlemen. You're going to have to stay inside on Saturday. Well,
I'm out.
Or just cover your for people listening. Cody's put his hand over the camera.
Imagine if I had no beard when I removed my hand. Just
I know
like
what you look
imagine
like
that.
without a beard.
That's true. Weird.
It grows back fast.
It does.
No, you look nice without a beard.
Thank you so much. It's in that way where it's like, oh, it's weird. You suddenly don't have a beard, but I look like a normal man.
Sometimes I think it's discombobulating when someone that you've gotten to know with a beard removes the beard, shaves the beard with some edges, sharp edges. It can be jarring, but your face works both ways. Jonathan, I can't speak to you. I haven't seen you without a beard.
Yeah.
Face simply doesn't work any other way. So I will not be celebrating this. I wonder if you're going to see at No King's Day on Saturday, October 18th, fewer beards than you did at the previous. In honor of no beards.
I'll consult the database.
You'll see a lot of 5 o'clock shadows, is my prediction.
May I just, we've edged the news enough and now we're going to get to the big show. Okay, here we go.
So how about those young Republicans? You know, there's Republicans, they're not all 80-year-old Mitch McConnells. There's a lot of like young, vibrant Republicans and they know how to do like tech stuff. So they're in like Telegram chats and what have you. And Politico got their hands on 2,900 pages of a Telegram chat between leaders of young Republican chapters, and a bunch of the chats in there are very racist. You might be shocked to learn.
How young are we talking about?
That doesn't add up to me.
Between the ages,
we're talking
in this
about
chat
little babies?
24 and 35.
Oh, so full-grown adults.
This is a group chat that was put together by a guy, Peter Giunta, who was running to be the chairman, like, of the larger National Young Republican group. He was a candidate for chairman of the Young Republican National Federation. He's a guy that wrote that everyone who votes no, i.e. against him, is going to the gas chamber. Yeah. He referred to an NBA playoff game. He said if I'd go to the zoo if I wanted to watch monkeys play ball. He is also the guy who threw an I Love Hitler in here playfully, as you do.
Playful,
one of those
fun.
jokes.
Lots of stuff in here. The F slur, R word, and N word appear to combine 251 times in this chat.
Honestly, that seems low.
To
what I would expect.
2,900 pages over a series of months, whatever it is. So this leaked, and it seems to be part of an internal feud among young Republicans, right? Someone was trying to sink Peter Giunta's candidacy, and it probably has done that. He has lost his job as the chief of staff for New York Assemblyman Michael Riley. A lot of the other people in here have been fired, and most Republicans have condemned this, including Representative Elise Stefanik, Senator Mark Wayne Mullen, and many others. And then there's people who had a different opinion. So here's what J.D. Vance had to say.
Oh, this fucking guy again. Great. What did he have to say?
He says, this is, and he's referring to something else that we'll talk about, this is far worse than anything said in a college group chat, and the guy who said it could become the AG of Virginia. I refuse to join the pearl clutching when powerful people call for political violence. Okay, so the Democratic Virginia Attorney General candidate Jay Jones several years ago was in a text thread with a Republican colleague. He suggested he would hypothetically kill a pair of Republican state lawmakers before Hitler or Pol Pot, and suggested that it would be okay if their children died because, quote, only when people feel pain personally do they move on policy. So not good, right?
Not good.
Not good.
I'm not going to pretend like that's a good thing that this person said. Deplorable, even.
Put it in a basket, call it deplorable, chuck it out the door.
Don't say gotta kill the kids.
Say that
What are you talking
kids
about?
into it. However, this, correct me if I'm wrong, this is from a few years ago situation. Like, it feels very beside the point in terms of addressing what this situation is, what's happening. You can condemn what's happening and the language used without just resorting to, you guys.
Are you suggesting that J.D. Vance is deploying whataboutism to avoid any sort of accountability for his entire party's viewpoints?
Perhaps I am.
Okay, well,
Perhaps
Good
I
luck.
am.
Good luck with that.
What? Yeah. What about it, Cody?
Sorry. I get it.
It's interesting that there does seem to be a real rift within MAGA about how to react to this. JD Vance is obviously on the Trump route. You never apologize. You never admit that anyone on your side did anything wrong until, of course, they defect and you're suing them or trying to get them in jail years down the road. But while they're part of your team, you never criticize them. You never condemn them. But other people are still going with that like old school Republican. This language has no place within the Republican Party.
I mean, it's an open secret. Not even the secret. It's like well known that tons of like Republican staffers are like groypers and like talk like this. They're more racist than a lot of older Republicans. They're more racist than like Donald Trump is publicly. They wish that he would go farther. And these are the young people who are staffed in these like congressional offices and positions. So this is again, it's not surprising. It is pretty well known, and it's a small example of this kind of thing from them.
It's like, and the normalization of, I mean, every time somebody says something that they shouldn't as a joke, and people don't push back on it, then it becomes normalized. I mean, you could be hard. I don't even understand how that can be a joke. But this whole excuse of, oh, I'm just joking. It was just a joke. Lighten up. We get to say whatever we want now.
It is like a social signal. It's how you're signaling, like, I'm part of this like new breed. We don't care we don't care what our language is. We don't care what you think of us. Obviously, they don't use that language publicly, but to each other.
So they do care.
It's
exactly.
like, I'm edgier than you, right? It's this whole like South Park kind of ethos, even though the South Park guys hate their guts now.
Think these guys are fucking, exactly.
Not necessarily. I don't know.
I mean,
but right, it's like this way of saying like, I'm more Trumpy than you. I'm more MAGA-y than you because I'm going to say the stuff that we all believe, but no one else will say. So it is a joke. I don't think Peter Junta wants to gas Jews or, like, but at the same time, he clearly doesn't care. It's clearly not a serious issue to these people.
Yeah, but they also do care because they're not doing it publicly. They're still hiding away in this. So like, it's that sort of like, we're edgy. We're saying the true things, but also we know we can't say them. But if it comes out, then we won't apologize for them. But also we kind of will. It's that weird place that they're in now where they know they can actually be as forthright with these kinds of opinions. And like you see, sometimes people will sort of like, it ultimately is vice signaling is what they're doing. With a lot of this stuff. And I've seen a lot of people like, this is just like how like young people talk to each other in group chats. And I can't speak for young people, but this like, oh yeah, we just like you like call each other the F word and stuff. It's like you razz each other. First of all, I don't think that's true for everybody. I think that it's sort of taking this idea that like, like friends like kind of like make fun of each other and stuff to this hyper level that doesn't actually exist among most normal people. Most normal people aren't calling black people monkeys in their group chats. And it's interesting that there are people like, this is how I talk with my friends and stuff. I don't think it is. You're covering up for it. And if it is, that is not good because most of the things people are saying, like, oh, they made some Hitler jokes. They also call black people monkeys. I don't think they're picking what they're defending instead of the actual problem.
These people are wanting to be the political leaders of tomorrow, right? You want to be the leader of a political party that, of course, every political party pretends that they're like super inclusive, huge umbrella, everyone should get in here. Oh, I did great with black people last time. Okay, you got like 9% instead of 7% or whatever the number is. But like, it's just, it's not acceptable in any sense, but if just someone's group chat that has had this stuff got leaked to Politico, it's not newsworthy. It's newsworthy that these are the young Republicans of the, not just like kids on college campuses, as I want to emphasize. And I want to play this JD Vance clip on Real America's Voice to really like drive home the way he's framing what these young people are doing, and kind of how only people on the left ever have agency. The people on the right are just victims.
Yes, and for context, this is done on the same podcast that just a few weeks earlier, J.D. Vance told the entire nation to call people and get them fired for jokes they may or may not have made about Charlie Kirk.
Yes, this is on The Charlie Kirk Show on Real America's Voice.
Still exists. For some reason, it's extremely weird that this show still exists. I'm sorry. Before we play this clip, the guy's dead. Stop with the show. Stop it. I understand doing a week of like memorial episodes, but
rename it.
Do it. Stop the show. Anyway, here's the clip.
Focusing on what kids are saying in a group chat. Grow up. I'm sorry. Focus on the real issues. Don't focus on what kids say in group chats. But there's another angle to this that I just have to be honest about. I mean, I'm like an old guy at this point. I'm 41 years old. I have 3 kids. I grew up in a different world, right? Where not most of the stupid things that I did when I was a teenager and a young adult, they're not on the internet. Like, I'm going to tell my kids, especially my boys, don't put things on the internet. Like, be careful with what you post. If you put something in a group chat, assume that some scumbag is going to leak it in an effort to try to cause you harm or cause your family harm. But the reality is that kids do stupid things, especially young boys. They tell edgy, offensive jokes. Like, that's what kids do. And I really don't want us to grow up in a country where a kid telling a stupid joke, telling a very offensive stupid joke, is cause to ruin their lives. And at some point, we're all going to have to say, enough of this BS. We're not going to allow the worst moment in a 21-year-old's group chat to ruin a kid's life for the rest of time.
Literally the opposite of what he said weeks ago about what you should do for people making offensive jokes. But whatever.
Yeah, I mean,
know.
These aren't kids. These aren't kids. These aren't kids.
He says kids
adults.
a lot.
He says kids a lot.
He's not much older than them. He's not much older than them.
If you're saying kids, he's saying these are kids, 21 years old, whatever. You can be up to 40 in this group. I think like 35, 36
but
is the oldest person in that group.
He's a ripe old age of 41.
He, at 41, said he's an old guy. But these people 5 years younger than him are kids. That's kind of not true, JD. That seems like maybe you are a liar. It's very frustrating to see this kind of work where, like, everybody on my side, we're actually tiny little babies. This 45-year-old man threw up on himself. Well, that's just what babies do. That's just what babies do. Like, that's this idea that everyone on his side must be infantilized. He infantilizes everybody while also, like, demanding that everybody, like, show appropriate deference and gratitude to him and, like, thank him properly. He can't say, grow up, in the same breath you're saying these adults are children.
Meanwhile,
that's absurd.
Jay Jones, the Virginia Attorney General candidate, sent his offensive text to a colleague 3 years ago when he was 33 years old. So is he just a kid
just
blowing off steam, making jokes? Like, no, you look at those texts and you're like, that's pretty ugly to say. To anyone, let alone a colleague of the same party where you say people deserve to die, all that stuff. No way would Vance give the benefit of the doubt to that kid.
He's just a slime ball. He's a slimy little guy. There's a reason he said this on the same podcast where he said fire people and call people to get them fired for their jokes. It is part of it. He is mocking the idea of accountability. He's laughing about how he can get away with this kind of stuff. The hypocrisy is part of it. He knows what he's doing and why he's doing it on that show. Yeah. We can move on. There was that Nazi flag in the other Republican office, but
a Republican congressman had a U.S. flag behind a staffer's desk that was altered to depict a swastika, and then the congressman's statement on it had a title that says like Congressman Taylor's statement on office vandalism, but the statement itself didn't suggest vandalism, and said we'll be doing an investigation. It seems like a person just put a flag behind their desk that had a swastika.
Does anybody know how long that was up before it became a thing?
Well, what they're claiming now is that someone unknown like handed out or delivered these little flags to a bunch of different representatives' offices. And some people opened the thing up and was like, this flag has a swastika on it, and threw it out. And that other people didn't notice because it's kind of an optical illusion and it only really looks like a swastika on camera is the claim.
That's a convenient claim.
Point being, it's a bit of an open secret that a lot of these guys are Nazis, and that a lot of Republican Congress people are staffed with a bunch of little Nazi freaks.
As Trump seemed to admit about his deputy.
Let's put a button on this they're all weird Nazis conversation by showing this clip of Trump acknowledging that his best little guy is one of those things.
Didn't get elected. I did get elected for crime, but I didn't get elected for what we're doing. This is many, many steps above. And I want to thank Stephen Miller, who's right back in the audience right there. I'd love to have him. I love watching him on television. I'd love to have him come up and explain his true feelings, but maybe not his truest feelings. That might be going a little bit too far. But Stephen, thank you for doing an unbelievable job. And the people of this country love you, I'll tell you. And they love what you say about crime and stopping crime.
I mean...
Yeah,
I mean,
so
especially in contrast, Cody yesterday or the day before tweeted about this clip.
Yeah, from a meeting during the election last year, according to the New York Times, the president told a campaign meeting that if it was up to Miller, there would only be 100 million people living in the United States, and all of them would look like Miller. So privately admitting, like, yeah, he's a bit of a Nazi freak, a bit of a big Nazi freak, and there he is in public alluding to it as well.
This Shocktober, Pluto TV has all the scares, literally all of them, all for free. So buckle up your scare belts and get ready for fan favorite horror movies like Paranormal Activity, The Ring, Scream, The Coppertone Killers, Murder on the Love Boat, From Dusk Till Dawn, From Solstice to Equinox, From SOD till EOD, Mary Shelley's Frankenstein, Shacula, that's Dracula, but with Shaq, 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 you get it, I don't need to explain. The Disgruntled Apparition, 21 Jump Scares, 28 Days Later, 35 Up the Stairs, 42 Upton Sinclairs, The Deadly Stenographers, and you know what? Stealth. So get all your Spooktober thrills for free on Pluto TV. Stream now, pay never.
So actually, for context for this conversation, I don't know if I mentioned this on the show before. You'll be scrolling through the apps, the YouTube Shorts, the Instagram Reels, the whatevers, and people love just like popping clips from shows and things up. I'm not a CIA show type of person. I don't like those shows. They don't really grab me. But I'll see clips every once in a while. And one thing I have noticed over the past few months is that all the clips I see, the enemy is Venezuela specifically.
There it is. Ooh, the boogeyman is shifted.
It's fascinating.
No longer,
it's always Venezuela.
But it used to be, Islamic terrorists,
generic Islamic terrorists, things like that. But we've shifted to Venezuela being the enemy on the CIA shows.
Maybe we're going through the cycle because we went through a period where on TV and film, it was always, Islamic terrorism. And then before that, it was Russians. And then before that, Nazis. And so maybe we're coming back around after Venezuela. It can be Nazis again.
No, we're getting close. We're so close. We're so close.
The U.S. military is blowing up boats in the Caribbean Sea. The administration says they are narco-terrorists smuggling drugs. Trump announced on Tuesday that we destroyed a fifth boat and killed 6 people. So the total number of people we have murdered is up to 27. No evidence that has ever been provided that these are drug boats. And even if they were, it's still illegal and morally repugnant to...
Our policy was prior would be to intercept boats and search them without killing people, which...
Would we wait until they're near us to intercept them? Because these boats weren't going here. The last boat, I think, was on its way. So we have evidence of, I guess, to Trinidad and Tobago. It doesn't make any sense. It's, of course, illegal. The president does not have the authority to do this. They are trying to argue that we are in a armed conflict with drug cartels, and thus it allows us to be at war with them. But armed conflict has an international definition, and this does not count. But unfortunately, Congress won't pass legislation, formally blocking him from doing it. So we're just doing these boat bombings, many of whom are likely fishermen, if you believe the interviews with people in Venezuela who says their fisherman husband went out and never came back.
I mean, this is a wild thing to think about. You're doing your job. You're going, members of the community minding their own business, fishing, and then never coming back. And then I start to think about, my God, the terror that people there who this is their livelihood must feel, or what's the next escalation? And there's seemingly no recourse. What are we doing? What the fuck are we doing? The same thing we've done everywhere throughout the world to disastrous outcomes, regime change. I mean, what the fuck?
Those were dumb presidents. J.D. Vance made it very, very clear. Regime change, interventionism, just American imperialism in general, that was done by dumb presidents. But they're not dumb. They're going to do it correctly. So we'll just have to, let them do some wars.
I'm not saying that there aren't boats smuggling drugs, but again, I am saying that we have a policy. You can intercept boats and search them instead of intercept boats by blowing them up from a distance. And
I mean, it's just like, it's not a
but it's an
murder
optics
sentence.
thing.
There's not like, we don't do that.
Well, also Venezuela is not like a major hub for sending drugs into the U.S. anyway. It's more cocaine than fentanyl, certainly, and much of it doesn't go here. A lot of the cocaine from Colombia goes through Venezuela and then out around the world. Also, who cares? But if you've got a huge problem with it, right, you can intercept the boat and then prove, stand in front of the drugs with you take a big picture like the way cops do in front of the drugs.
Yeah,
so
get
no,
your photo op.
they really want to provoke a war with Venezuela I think Hegseth thinks it'll be fun. I think Trump thinks it'll be politically expedient for him. He'll be able to get away with more if we're at war, right? He's already a report came out yesterday that the Trump administration secretly authorized the CIA to conduct covert actions in Venezuela. So that is going on now.
That is terrifying.
And then when he was
And
asked
you saw it on
about
TV, probably.
Yeah, and then he asked about it, was asked about it yesterday and admitted to it, basically. And they said, are you thinking about like striking inside Venezuela? And he said, we are certainly looking at land now because we've got the sea very well under control. So they're looking at land, by which they mean invading or bombing inside
they do.
Venezuela. Also, I'm really sick of reporters, whether they're real reporters or, the reporters that ask Trump questions, just putting ideas in his head. It's like that's their job, is to go and pitch horrible things for them to do. Like, let him bring it up. Let him come up with the idea of bombing a country.
They do that a lot. It's very frustrating.
It is frustrating.
Have you thought about?
You need to go there.
I didn't think about that until now. Thanks for the idea.
Shut your mouth.
They're inceptioning all the worst shit in the world into his brain.
Or like, you're trying to trick him in some way, catch him in a gotcha moment. And I'm all for getting them on camera or whatever and following through with your questions or whatever. But when you plant ideas like that, then he's said it. Now it's out there and then he plays with it and he gets away with everything. You're just enabling it.
This is also connected to the crackdown on immigrants in the U.S. because of the supposed Tren de Aragua connection, right? These are Tren de Aragua boats they're blowing up, and we've got Tren de Aragua all over the U.S. that they're arresting left and right. In that Chicago apartment raid last week, where they kicked everyone out and zip-tied the kids and pulled them all outside, they keep lowering the number of confirmed Tren de Aragua people they captured. Now they say they have one verified, and that's them saying it, one verified Tren de Aragua member, and they're not sharing any evidence of that. So
we're terrorists. The United States government is a terrorist organization at this point.
Yeah. I mean, they're terrorizing their citizens. They're at war with their own country. It's pretty disgusting. And I mean, if they like after all that time, like, yeah, we actually have one verified member, really makes you question all the other people they've already deported for being gang members or any of this. Maybe they actually haven't been verifying that as much as they want people to believe.
ProPublica had a report today. They found that more than 170 U.S. citizens have been held for hours or even over a day by immigration agents in, those prompt Kavanaugh holds that he says are not happening or are no big deal. The number of U.S. citizens is terrifying, and then multiply it by the number of non-U.S. citizens getting terrorized, and it's hard to wrap your head around on a daily basis. Like when you've gone through, Trump always says, like, we want immigrants, but you have to do it legally, you have to do it the right way. And unless you have a legitimate asylum claim or, have a family member here or have an employer willing to vouch for you, there is no right way. And then despite all those odds, if people still come here, are here for years, have gone through the entire process to get documentation, to become U.S. citizens, and then when you think you're going in for your naturalization ceremony and they grab you,
can you fucking imagine?
To ship you away, there's no policy argument, there's no moral argument. It's for Stephen Miller's numbers.
Even Joe Rogan is horrified. Did you guys see that?
Yeah, once every 2-3 weeks now, he comes out with this is crazy, man.
I never knew.
I thought they were going after the criminals. This shit's crazy.
I thought mass migrations was...
He was like, but these are people that have lived their whole lives being sent someplace that they don't even speak the language. I'm like, yeah, Joe. Yeah, Joe.
He told you. They all told you.
We told you.
J.D. Vance and the president said that Haitian migrants were eating people's pets, Joe. Did you believe him? Of course you did, Joe.
That's crazy.
Meanwhile, the Department of Homeland Security is tweeting simply the word remigrate. And for context, remigration is a form of ethnic cleansing. And they are simply saying it out loud.
Yeah, I feel like any of those young Republicans, if they're looking for work, would fit right in at the social media department at the Department of Homeland Security.
Post your memes and your ethnic cleansing posts.
The war that we're doing might be even more tough to cover because the Pentagon came out with a bunch of new reporting standards that all essentially boil down to that you cannot print or report anything, classified or not, unless Pete Hegseth approves. Basically. And almost every journalist and almost every outlet said no and turned in their press badges, including Fox News, including Newsmax. One American News is the only organization that we know of right now that signed the press policy.
That's a good thing that I guess our news organizations can all come together and, except for one, condemn this. But my God, this is just, I can't qualify of which one's the most un-American, but this is about as un-American as it can get. This is a hallmark of American journalism is that we are supposed to be able to report on things, to have access. But
also it's American to crack down on,
it is,
journalism.
Sure.
I agree with you. Sorry, I'm being pedantic.
No, it's fine. You're right.
It's anti-American. It's anti like democracy. It's kind of like in the middle of it's pretty American to do, but this is like very, very blatant and not something that is normal. I don't want to dismiss what you're saying.
I understand what people say when they mean like this is not who we are. Like I don't feel I'm like actually it is, but no, I like
But
we need to be able to say that stuff exactly.
So blatant about something that, even if, yes, I agree with you, but like, my God, we don't even care anymore. It's to pretend in any capacity.
Like Hegseth, for being a TV guy for so long, he doesn't understand optics as well as he thinks he does, because this is all about optics. He cares a lot about what is said about him, about how he looks, about what's reported about him. But the big bombshell Pentagon stories are not things you get by having access to the front level and interviewing a few staffers at the Pentagon. Like, stuff will still leak out, and he's trying to crack down on leaks, and it's just going to make the leaks worse. It's not like we're not going to find out about all the bad stuff they're doing. And like, I mean, does he think it's going to be good for morale to make everyone sign a pledge that they watched his little patent speech? Like, it's like very embarrassing.
It's very embarrassing
for that guy. And for Mr. Strong Optics guy, he just makes himself look weaker and weaker. I know he's a TV guy and that's why he does this, but when he's being interviewed, you shouldn't turn and look into the camera because it makes it seem inauthentic instead of authentic when you talk to someone. But he keeps looking right into the camera, and it just...
It's overly performative. It's overly aware of the camera, and not in that sort of like weird like Trump way where like there every once in a while he'll like find the camera in a crowd and do his like little hey there, you know. And even that is like, yeah, it's just he's just so bad at this.
This ad is brought to you by Vive Healthcare, the makers of Apretude, cabotegravir. You never skip your SPF, and you carry hand sanitizer like an accessory. But what are you doing for HIV prevention? One way to help protect yourself from HIV is Apretude, a prescription medicine used to reduce the risk of getting HIV in adults and adolescents weighing at least 77 pounds. You must be HIV negative to receive Apretude and get tested before each injection. If you think you were exposed to HIV or have flu-like symptoms, tell your doctor right away. More HIV testing may be needed. Apretude does not prevent other sexually transmitted infections. Practice safer sex to reduce your risk. Get Apretude as scheduled. Missing doses increases your HIV risk. Don't take Apretude if allergic to it or taking certain medicines that may interact. Tell your doctor about your medical conditions, liver problems, and mental health. Serious side effects include allergic reactions or rash, liver problems, and depression. If these occur, get medical help right away. The most common side effect is injection site reaction. Bring your A game and talk to your doctor. Learn more at apretude.com or call 1-888-240-0340.
I want to briefly talk about this IRS news from Trump. We don't need to get too much into it, but basically Trump is preparing to use the IRS to go after his political enemies and pursue criminal inquiries of left-leaning groups more easily, is the plan. And he's alluded to this a lot with like, we're going to go after all the Soros people, and Ted Cruz is out there now talking about going after the No Kings protest funders and being a little weasel about it. But now Trump is going after, going to use the IRS and weaponize it to go after left-leaning liberal groups. And I wanted to mainly talk about it because as it's going to develop more.
Scary.
Yeah, and it will develop more. We'll probably talk about it again. But one reaction I've seen about this has been from, I would say, like well-meaning, sort of like never Trump style Republicans who are like, this is not who we are. We got to get this out. Like Bulwark style, like conservatives, friends of the show. And a lot of them seem to be pointing out like, back in the day, I rightfully condemned when Obama did this, and it's just as bad now that Trump's doing it, and sort of trying to play this like, I'm civil and respectful, and I'm like balls and strikes, I'm always calling it, and Obama did it and I said it was bad, and I'm saying it's bad now that Trump's doing it too. And I just wanted to address this because that's not what Obama did, and this is another one of those things that has become sort of mythologized in the Republican mind that justifies everything they're doing now to them. I've seen tons of people be like, oh, you reap what you sow. Look what Obama did it as well. So there's people being like, I said it was bad when Obama did it, and it's bad now. And other people saying it was bad when Obama did it, so we're going to do it to you. But I just wanted to make clear, like, yes, there was more scrutiny on conservative nonprofit groups under Obama in that 2013 sort of period. But as I will read this quote, by the time the tumult abated, few people noticed that the Inspector General had submitted another report. This one concluded that IRS staff had also used keywords such as progressive to target liberal organizations for further scrutiny. And basically, what happened was, in 2010, Citizens United was decided. And so the following years, a bunch of political groups, kind of disguised as like charity groups and these other groups, popped up because political spending, it was a free-for-all. So all these groups popped up, and so the IRS was targeting those kinds of groups and ended up using keywords like Tea Party and conservative, progressive on both sides to determine whether or not they were like doing anything illegal or being dishonest about their organization. And so it was presented as like they're going after conservative groups, but ultimately the real narrative was, well, no, they were going after both sides. Maybe they went after conservatives more because there's probably more money on the conservative side for groups like that, so there were more groups. But it's just this myth that I wanted to dispel as we go into people justifying this as like it's payback or saying like, well, they're both bad. It's not the same thing. Trump's not doing this for this reason. He's worse. It's different.
It's one of those things that has been repeated enough that a lot of people just accept it's true, that like Biden's White House or the Democrats did it first. And so that's why Trump is going nutso now when it comes to authoritarianism, similar to how, a majority of Republicans believe that the 2020 election was stolen. Yeah. Like it's been 5 years. You'd think they'd have something by now in the most analyzed election ever. But it's just been said so many times to the point where, after they called it the big lie for a few years, they just stopped pushing back. Like he'll say it in an interview, and then it was just, okay, you're not going to admit it, so yeah.
Trayvon Martin is another one where like Obama said it could have been his son, and they can't get out of the brain. Like, then you deserve all the racism we could ever throw at you is their justification for it.
Did narratives stick this easily in the past, or is it just so much? It must just be. It's so much worse with the internet because it's
definitely worse with the internet. But Howard Dean ruined his entire political future by just going yeehaw or whatever. But
also like a clip, if someone embarrasses themselves a little bit on Fox News or wherever, then the people who watched it would see it and maybe tell other people that they saw it, and now the clip is everywhere. You could like half of this show is like, here are the clips that were taken from. Like I'm not turning on Real America's Voice to watch JD Vance on the entire Charlie Kirk show and grab a thing. Like part of how the news ecosystem keeps up at this point is a series of clips from cable news, and everyone wants to do their best to not take those things out of context, but at the same time, those moments get amplified so much. So it's way easier for us to see JD Vance be a liar than it would have been 30 years ago, and it's way easier for the right to get the same narrative in their face over and over and over again. Not to mention if they're on the website, the owner of which is flooding it into your brain.
What the heck is going on with Marjorie Taylor Greene, huh? What the heck is going on with Marjorie Taylor Greene?
Yeah, she only deserves a couple minutes. That's true.
Right? Like, we don't need to talk about her.
But what's
too
up?
Much.
What's up with her? What's going on? What's her deal?
Marge?
A lot is going on with Marjorie Taylor Greene lately, to the point where Trump is asking what's going on with Marjorie, because she has not defected, you didn't endorse her, man. But she has taken some positions that are not the MAGA or GOP position. She was one of only 3 House Republicans to sign the discharge petition that would demand the full release of the Epstein files. She criticized the Iran strikes. She called what happened in Gaza, or what is happening in Gaza, a genocide. She says the GOP has no plan on health care. and is talking about affordability a lot more. She wants the Affordable Care Act subsidies preserved.
And she told the Washington Post this week that there are weak men in the Republican Party who are threatened by strong Republican women. Interesting. Anyway.
Yeah, she is. I mean, she's getting a lot of good press, so maybe that's a reason why.
That could be a reason.
But also Trump told her not to run for Senate in Georgia, and so maybe she's a little bit hurt by that, or is planning a 2028 run.
She might be.
Herself.
Maybe a Veep role for her.
Yeah.
Vance Green type situation. Or...
I don't like the woman, but this is smart to pivot on these issues because these are the issues that are breaking people away from MAGA to a degree that you can say that they're breaking away from MAGA. But these are the things that there are grumblings about. And, she's not wrong about them as much as it sucks to say. I mean, although I appreciate somebody saying these things. But it is interesting because am I right though that Donald Trump didn't endorse her when she ran?
Not in her first primary. He endorsed her in the general. Not in her first primary. Okay. So she's a little bit unique from a lot of conservatives right now in that I guess that gives her some amount of independence. I don't know.
Trying to triangulate. But it's also like, what are you going to do? Are you just going to talk about it and get your press and talk about it? Or are you going to actually work with, maybe an AOC type on actual legislation to do anything about it? Instead of sort of try to get people, because showboating, and also there's an element of the political landscape where it's okay, yeah, I'm saying this stuff, therefore all the Democrats need to come over with me and do my stuff. Well, no. If you actually care about this stuff and you think it's real, then you go to the other side and you work with them and you make that happen.
In this new political world, it does seem advantageous to be a Republican and do all the Republican stuff, but then in your district, basically be a lefty populist.
Yep.
70% of her constituents voted for Trump, but many of them rely on Obamacare subsidies. And so when they were asked in interviews, hey, what do you think about what Marjorie Taylor Greene's doing? They say, oh, it's great. She's just looking out for the little guy like us. Okay, so if you think doing the things that the left wants to do is looking out for the little guy, then why would you? But it doesn't matter. It seems smart. Basically be Zoran Mamdani in your district and then, get on the stage with the president and say
That's
the left's a bunch of communists.
Be Stephen Miller on the national stage and then, Mamdani
Miller on the streets, Mamdani in the sheets. You hated that.
I don't like it. I don't think about that. But you're right. That is what it is. I think there's an element of, and I mean, who knows? But I think there's an element of this pivoting where part of it is sort of seeing the way the wind's blowing, and Trump is pretty unpopular, and you got Joe Rogan out there being like, "What are you doing?" Some of the performative cruelty and the violence and all the things that Trump is doing aren't really being received very well.
Right.
And so I think part of it is sort of seeing that and maybe trying to triangulate, because eventually Trump's going to be dead. And also, I think her thing about weak Republican men, I think it's funnily phrased, but ultimately I think what she's doing is being woke. She's talking about the sexism in the Republican Party and how the men in the Republican Party don't actually respect women despite whatever soundbite they might give out. So it seems like maybe there's some frustration there with sort of experiencing some of the sexism that exists there without talking about it in the way where you'd be like, yeah, we need feminism for this or whatever. It's well, she's not going to say that, but she's going to say you're weak Republican men who don't like strong women. It's
so interesting,
right on the edge of woke.
I do. Yeah, you're right. I agree with you. And I agree with her point there. I also consider her to be a particularly difficult to stomach person.
Yeah.
And so there could be some amount of you're unpleasant. You're unpleasant
it's
to
you.
work with.
Exactly.
It's you. But no, yeah, everything everyone said, I agree with you completely. I'll add that there might be some reading of the tea leaves here. I genuinely think it takes a while for people, constituents, for average Americans, it will take them a while to admit all the ways that Donald Trump has disappointed them, and I think that it's starting to, as to what you said. I don't think the cruelty goes over well with everyone. I think that people are realizing that, no, I'm losing money, and are scared of the next few years and what that will look like and how much worse their life will be. When at the crux, what everybody cares about across the board is that we can't afford to live our lives. We can't afford health care. We can't afford the groceries. We can't afford the insurance. People can't afford rents. They can't buy homes. And it is a crisis. And we should all be agreeing on that. And I think she knows that because she's listening to her constituents, or she's very self-preserving and is mapping out her future political ambitions. But it is politically smart to be a member of the Republican Party and say this really loudly. And to be clear, she also makes sure to say that she's MAGA, that she still believes, it's not like she's distancing herself from the cruelty. It's not like she's distancing herself from the reality of this administration, but
she's still a Islamophobic racist who says Trump's her favorite president.
Jewish space laser lady. She'll always be that. And so it's ultimately who cares? I guess not who cares, but it's interesting to consider why she's doing it. But, she doesn't deserve more time. But I want to say one last thing. Doesn't deserve more time except for this one moment. I do think there's also a possibility that she kind of knows that Trump is a Epstein-style pedophile, and it seems like because she's one of the few people who's like, release the stuff. We want to see the stuff. And I think that maybe she kind of has, whether or not admitted to herself, but senses there's probably something there with him, and is sort of putting her foot in the door. So there's some possibility of separation of her from him when it all comes out, if it ever does.
Breaking news: John Bolton has been indicted. This one is certainly one of Trump's enemies, but this investigation started during Biden because, I know.
I don't want to.
It's hard to be hated by everyone, I guess.
It is. I don't want to. My instinct was to laugh, and I'm so sorry. But to that, in response to me laughing, I want to say, and we've discussed this before, there is an element of some of these initial indictments and these sort of things that he's doing. Yes, it was started under Biden, and yes, he's also Trump's political enemy, so it's a little muddy. One of the things that he is doing is picking targets that are a little more palatable as targets to both sides. Many Democrats fucking hate Comey because he lost the election in 2016. So there is an element of, well, I'll go after these people because maybe when they hear about the news, they might laugh. But you normalize that behavior, and then you go after other targets that you might have actually been had a real problem with if it was first, but now so many have happened that it's been normalized and it's more acceptable.
And he is trying to push it quickly. Yesterday during this FBI meeting, he's just calling out the names of people he wants indicted to Pam Bondi while she shifts uncomfortably, and Kash Patel. He's like, Shifty Schiff, how about him? He's just throwing out Rosie O'Donnell, whoever.
Oh, did he say Rosie O'Donnell?
No, he didn't.
I wish he did. That'd be so funny.
She doesn't live here anymore.
But that's true. So I just wanted to address my laugh, which I apologize for.
Nah, who cares? We did it. We know what we got through quite a lot in this hour together.
We did.
I hope we all feel accomplished. I feel like you all feel like you were heard.
I do, because I was talking.
I hope you feel seen. I don't know what I'm doing. All right, that's it. We're done. We're out of here. It's the weekend. Awoo! Thanks, guys. We love you very much.
Awoo. Oh, much.